dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to our third lesson for mathematics, and we will be continuing with probability. Just this time we will study how to do probability questions from Venn diagrams. So we are going to focus on calculating probabilities from Venn diagrams. The objective is to use Venn diagrams to answer problems related to probability. Okay. You may find a problem like this, where you're going to do probability, but you need to draw a Venn diagram to help you answer that question. Now, in this question, we are told that all the students in year 11 must study at least geography, history, and religious studies. So there are three options: geography, history, and religious studies. Okay? This information here, we can show it with a Venn diagram of this kind. And this Venn diagram, each of those options, geography, we will represent it with a circle. A ring, we will draw a ring for geography, history, and religious studies. So you have to come up with something like this. Now what you put here are those students that do all the three, because you see it's an intersection between the three. This section here is an intersection between geography and religious studies without including history. So we need to fill in this Venn diagram, and then it will help us to answer the following questions. Okay, let us see. In year 11, there are 65 students. So that means the universal set has 65, the total. Of these students, 15 study geography, history, and religious studies. So these 15 is here, this part. They study all the three subjects: geography, history, and religious studies. Then we will see again 21 study geography and history. So we need to look for that part. 21 study geography and history. So this is the ring for geography, this is history. This part here will be 21. It means this and this, we have 21 students. So if you want the number for this part, you have to subtract 21 minus 15. I think that gives us 6. So that means here we have 6 students who study geography and history, but not religious studies. 15, they study all the three, and 21 study history and geography. So we go step by step and fill in the whole Venn diagram. Then 16 study geography and religious studies. Geography and religious studies. G and R is 16. That means these two parts you have to put 16. But already we have 15. That means I have to say 16 minus 1 minus 15, which is 1. So we have one student here who studies geography and religious studies without history. Okay, then we proceed to see what 30 students study geography. Let us see how that information will help us. 30 students study geography. So this whole ring must have 30 students. Now, already we have 6, we have 5, we have 6, we have 15, we have 1. I think this is already 22. So out of 30, we are left with 8. So that the whole of this part has 30 students. You could add this and then subtract from 30. It means this part is sorted. Now we need to fill in the other parts. Let us check the information given. So we have done this. 30 students study geography. Then 18 study only. This is a very important statement here. You see? It says 18 students study only religious studies. Then here you're told 37 study religious studies. So this word I have underlined is a very important word. We will see how to use it. So 18 study only religious studies. This is the ring for R. Now in this ring, we are told 18 study only religious studies. So it's this part here where students study only religious studies, and I can put here the 18. Okay, and then lastly, oh sorry, yeah, 37 study religious studies. So this one 37 for religious studies. We will see how to use it. So that means the whole of this part you must have 37 who study religious studies. So when I add this, already I have 33, 34. Take that from 37. I think we are left with 3. So this part we must have 3 students. In our Venn diagram, this part is empty and this part is empty. Let us go back to the question and see if there is some information that can help us with that. If you read the question carefully, we are told all students in year 11 at school must study at least 1. So it means there is no student who is doing nothing. They must study at least 1. Okay? So that means outside the 3 rings there is nothing. And then we are also told that the number of the universal set is 65. So all of the students must be 65. Let me first delete this. And then we will go back. So I don't have to put any number of students outside here. And then the total for all this is 65. So let us check. If I add all these numbers, what is remaining to make 65? Let us see. Just this part is 30 plus this is 48. This is 51. So what is remaining from 51 to make 65? I think that should be 14. So I have to put here 14. Then when I put 14, it means our Venn diagram is complete. This question may be 2 or 3 marks in an exam. Just filling in this data. Okay? So having filled this, now you can answer the questions on probability. Let us see the question that follows. A student in year 11, okay, who studies both history and religious studies is chosen at random. This question has two parts. It's an example of conditional probability. So you are selecting from here, okay? A student in year 11 who studies both history and religious studies is chosen at random. So we are selecting from this part, history and religious studies. Work out the probability that this student does not study geography. Okay? So to answer this question, first we are saying we are going to choose from this part, students who study both history and religious studies. So I want to go back to our Venn diagram and then we will see how to answer this question. We are choosing from H intersection R, that part. And from that part, we need the probability that this student does not do geography. Now this is the Venn diagram we made. We're going to use it to answer the question. The question tells us that a student who studies history and religious studies is selected at random. This means that we are focusing on this part here. That part, we have H intersecting R. That's the part we are going to focus. So it then says, find the probability that this student does not study geography. So in this section, we have these 15 and these 3 students. Only these 3 do not study geography. So the probability that a student is not doing geography will be 3 divided by the total, which is 18. So the answer to our question, next, so here we will write 3 divided by 15. Oh, divide by 18. That would be the answer to our problem.